when it comes to our purpose, just us three, at what percentage would you say that you are walking in your full purpose or potential?
So with that being said, as long as you know your purpose and let your purpose drive your joy and let your joy bring you happiness and let not the situation in your surrounding bring you happiness, I think then you will know.
Soon and very soon.
That's right.
We are
going to see the king. That was good. That was a lot. And you mentioned purpose, right? That kind of takes me into our next question. When it comes to our purpose, just us three, at what percentage would you say that you are walking in your full purpose or potential? I know, right? I had this thought a couple days ago because I'm starting to read that book UOU by Mr. Eric Thomas, PhD, Golden Eric Thomas, and I'm only like 31 pages into the book, which is technically just the first chapter. But I haven't even gotten into the meat. I have just learned about where this man came from and his upbringing and how he's kind of getting to where he is now. I haven't even gotten to the UOU part. But you know how like when you hear somebody speak, especially somebody like Eric Thomas, every time you read a book or something by an author, you read it in their voice. You know he has that voice where he talks like this. You got that dog, you got that fight. Why are you giving up? So every time I read any word in that book, I try to read it in his tone of voice.
Again, that's hilarious you say that. I was reading a bunch of Dr. Miles Monroe books. Dr. Miles Monroe. And I had to stop doing it because that's how I was. I couldn't hear eating. I'd read a different book and I see.
Check your notepads out.
Yeah, take your paper. Write this down. Write this down. Write this down. And I would start reading all my stuff like that, and I was like, all right. I said, Dr. Miles Rowe, it was phenomenal, but I was starting to read everything in that voice. But anyway, sorry, Shaka.
So yeah, I feel like when it comes to walking in your purpose, I feel like with me even just starting to read this book, it's slowly like starting to, you know how you get a light and you go, and you trying to light that flame,
right?
I feel like me reading this book is like this trying to find, or not even, you know what your purpose is, but a lot of times you don't even know what to do with it. It's like having $1 million and not knowing where to put it or invest it, right?
Yeah.
So at what percentage rate do you think that you are walking and operating in your purpose? And I'll go first. I think I might be at 15%. And that's being very, very generous because you almost feel like, relating back to Dragon Ball Z, right?
Okay, bring it back.
Us three, we have to, what's the highest level of Super Saiyan? 6, 7?
The best Super Saiyan
God, Super Saiyan God mode. I don't even know that's the thing.
Right now,
Ultra Instinct.
Ultra Light Beam?
We don't know Ultra Light Beam.
Ultra Light Beam Super Saiyan. I feel like we have that potential. And I feel like we're just walking around like normal fighters in the Dragon Ball Z universe. We ain't even tapped into Super Saiyan.
Oh, yeah, we at the grandpa right now. We just,
grandpa. I'm Hercule.
He's a Hercule. He's like, you probably Hercule also. He ain't watched it in a minute.
I haven't watched that show since I was in like 7th grade.
Boy, listen, that show's lit.
But I would say for me and my percentage of walking in my purpose,
your full purpose. And do you ever feel like you've reached 100%?
I wonder if you ever feel like that. That's what
I was saying. I don't know a percent, but I can tell you, I think the closer I get to God and the more I build my relationship with Him, the closer I will be walking in my purpose. So I would say your purpose, depending on how close you are to fulfilling your purpose, depends on how close you are in your relationship with God. Not fulfilling, but walking in your purpose will be dependent on how close your relationship is with God, because you don't know your purpose until you know God. And if you don't know God, how do you know your purpose? Because He's the one that created you.
But if you're not a God-fearing person,
but then how do you know you walking in your purpose?
You're just walking in. Have purpose.
You're walking in
life.
You're walking in your fleshly desire.
I feel like you can still have a purpose if you don't have a relationship with God.
You can have a desire. I think, and I don't want to get desire and purpose confused, because I think your desire is what you think or I'll have to look that up, what desire actually is. But I think your purpose is what God created you to do.
Right.
And for the ones that are not, walking, who is not Christ-like, I'm not going to say Christian, those are not Christ-like, or those not walking in the way of Christ.
Yet,
you're right, yet. I feel like they are lost. And I'm not trying to sit there, I'm not knocking any religion. This is how I grew up.
Yeah.
I'm not saying no other religion.
You can only speak from your perspective.
I'm only speaking from my perspective. I'm not saying no other religion's bad. I'm not sitting there cursing any religion. I'm just saying to me and how I read the Bible, how I grew up, and how God speaks to me.
Yeah.
I feel that, what is it? I feel like if you don't know who created you, how do you know your purpose? Just like with my kids. If my kids never took time to sit there and build a relationship with me, and I with them, they would never know their full potential. You know your child's full potential right now. You know Zola's full potential, what she could do right now in this age.
I know some of the potential, but I'd be a fool to say if I can mentally, I can't see past what they certain days they can do, what they can't do. But I will say I think you can see you can know your purpose before you feel like you know God necessarily.
Yeah.
Break that down.
I say that because I've seen multiple occasions to where God saved doctors and lawyers and all these other different people, and he doesn't say, I need you to quit your job and go do ministry. Because technically where you're at in your ops, like you said, when he does say he basically, if you want to do technical, he'll meet you exactly where you're at and you can keep going and doing what you're doing. But maybe like, hey, can we pray for you today? Can I talk to you? I just want to, I maybe you have to tell them directly. I just want to sit in the office and pray for you or pray about you. Like this way, again, example would be I know my purpose isn't always in the financial world.
Correct.
But this week I got to tell and pray with multiple people while at my job. Right. Somebody said they were having throat cancer. Yeah. Now I asked someone, who is it? What's her name? I said, can I pray with you guys or pray for you guys in general? I didn't have to lead nobody to salvation. I don't even know the person, never even seen them at all.
Giving them comfort.
But I think that's when I say that could be part of the purpose, but I was still in my career. Like, are we thinking your purpose is your career or your purpose, as like Brittany was talking about earlier, we were off camera, she said one of her purposes, she felt it was being a mother, bearing children and stuff in the world. We know that some women cannot, but that doesn't mean it's not her purpose or one of her purposes. I think you can have more than one.
So look, shot man, one of y'all look up. What is desire and what is purpose? I think we need to know once you get the full understanding what desire and purpose. I think
purpose. Well, we know purpose is what you feel like you're created to do,
called to do.
Yeah, created or called to do. But desire means is what you want to do
with your purpose,
or it could be with you. I mean, I might have a desire to fight somebody. Don't mean that's my purpose.
So I feel like with your purpose, I understand. You said that.
God
saved the people. God saved them, and then they were still at their job. So yes, possibly, looking that way, you can be in the environment of where your purpose is at, but not know how to function in your purpose. Not to get off
too much topic of where Shaka actually the original question was. It says, what capacity you think you're operating in your full potential?
Oh, yeah. That's why, when I gave that, that's how we got off topic. But go ahead.
But I think like you said, Shaka, if I'm being 15-10, I think 15 is me being very, lenient.
Yeah.
But I don't think I've never met anybody or even like video, YouTube, whatever. I'm maxing out 100% of my potential right now.
Oh, I know you lying. Because if you max out your purpose and your full... Go ahead, though.
But again, if your potential, what you could be, is always not just drawn off what others can see with you and what you're doing, right? They would tell us all the time, you have the potential, you have all the potential and stuff in the world. Potential is what you possibly could be doing. But like we said a little bit to not get too far off topic of knowing who you are, right? Yeah. I know they said, like when we play football.
Yeah.
Oh, you have the potential. You probably go to the NFL, do whatever. But if I felt like that was my full potential, right? That's all I could do or it could be. I would be hurt if I didn't make it that I'm not living up to potential. I might living up to expectations of what you thought might see.
Yeah.
Because if you want to be technical, if you talk about Jesus did not meet the expectations when he came during his day, did not meet those expectations of his people during that time frame.
Nope.
He looked and was so common. So when they came to take him to the cross, Judas had to point out which one was Jesus. Would you, like you said, I heard it said best. Would you not think Jesus had that like king drip at some point, right? Like, would you not think something about him would be like, that clearly must be Jesus?
Yeah.
Someone stand up. Nope. They're like, which one is it? He looks such like everybody else.
That one.
Right. So to me, that said, like, that also said he didn't meet expectations. Would we say Jesus was a failure, or he didn't live up for full 100% of his potential? Absolutely not. But again, I think you know what your potential is. And again, what your goals and what you drive for your personal family and what your life is.
Yeah.
Like, I'm starting to get, the older I get, the more I'm starting to know and understand and be confident in that of, you know what, Anthony? Because that really did used to bother me. Like, if you do this, other people are going to say X, Y, and Z. And if you step over here, they're going to think and do X, Y, Z. That would literally drive certain decisions that I would make. Like, truthfully.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not ashamed to say that I really would think about that. And that would bother me. But now it's not like you don't care about those said people. It'd be like, you know what? This is what I want for my family. And me and he said, look, what Joshua say? As for me and my house,
me and mine,
we will serve the Lord. And I'm
on.
not even talking about like even faith or whatever. Me and my house will do and be abide by X, Y, and Z.
Absolutely.
Right?
I feel
me
that.
and this one, we're going to go and be X, Y, and Z. Doesn't mean and again, my family looking in might question, like, man, what are y'all doing? Y'all could be doing X, Y, Z. Shaka, you could be doing blah, blah, blah. But you're like, nah, that's not what I want for my life. And I'm 100% content. And this is where I want my family, my son and my daughter to go and be. And wife.
There we go. Too. I feel that. So I feel like in order to have purpose, you almost need to set goals.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You got to be a good goal setter and goal getter. And I feel like your desire is what gives you the energy to achieve those certain goals, to walk in your purpose.
Oh, yeah. And right? You know, speaking on the, off the biblical scale,
yeah.
You know, I still feel like you said you can give yourself a purpose. Like, my purpose is to have a house. And like you said, you have to set them goals. And them goals will give you the desire, or set benchmarks.
Yeah.
And those will give you desire, as your desire will take you there. So however bad you want it will determine if you get there or not, or if you fulfill your purpose. So like I said, and that's for the ones who are, I said, off the biblical, just going off the biblical scale. I feel like, you can't have a purpose outside of the will of God for yourself. It doesn't make it wrong. It all depends on how you sit there. It all depends on what your purpose is.
But also, God said, the Bible does say, God will give you the desires of your heart. He will give you the desires to your heart. Like I said, when you're willing to put Him first.
Yes.
First meaning, like, not like I'm praying every first thing in the morning or whatever, but literally in all I do, in all my job and all my decisions, wherever sometimes it may come, you have my yes, Lord. And that's I believe that's a heart posture mainly. When it comes to that, He's meaning if your desire is to have a house, but will you sell? And like I said, you desire to have a house, but will you sell out and cheat people to get it? I mean, are you going to be a workaholic and not spend time with your family because you're trying to hustle and get this money up, right? Doesn't
go ahead,
right?
Go ahead and build your house on that sand,
right? Could you? He says, or meaning. Yes, you have an opportunity. I need you to come into my house and pray and worship. Now I got to work today, God. You said I can have this house, but I don't have time for church, and I don't really have time for these kids like that. I mean, their mom will take care of the homework and all that fun stuff. I'm not saying that you do that or nothing. I'm just saying those things that as men we can get caught up in. And I say me because I know that was me at one point too. I'm so again. What are the things you used to tell me all the time? It says, work as if everything depended on you, but pray as if everything depends on God. Right?
And repeat that one more time.
It says work as if everything depends on you, but pray as if everything depends on God, which it does.
Like that.
If you are operating and doing those said things, like I'm working, I'm doing the things God and stuff called me and stuff to do. I'm trying to steward my family. I'm trying to steward things well.
Yeah.
I know that I know God sees that and rewards those things, not just for you doing good works, but He says, I see my son trying to move and trying to improve on those said things. But if if I'm so focused on the future that I take it out of God's hands, man, if this don't line up with my timeline or my timetable, which I've had that humbling experience this week, and I ain't gonna lie, it drove me to my knees in angry prayer. Angry prayer. But it was honest though.
Yeah.
Right? Listen,
absolutely.
About what God says for me. He says, Don't you trust me with talking. I was praying something for Isaiah, not just about that whole thing situation. I was really praying about something. He says, I love him more than you. Don't you trust me? And when you say that, God don't ask questions he don't know the answer to. And I'm like, I'm be honest with you, Lord. I clearly the way my actions, I'm like, no, I don't trust you fully like I should.
I feel that.
If we're being honest. You're like, what? How can you say that as a believer? Listen, you can say, look, I don't have religion. I have relationship with my Lord. And I was like, no, I don't have that. I don't have that right now, Lord. Like the guy when I don't mean take it too far off topic. The guy when his son was possessed, and he said he saw Jesus. He says, if you're willing, you can do it. And Jesus said, I'm willing. He says, do you think I can do this? Help you heal your son? Yeah. He says, yes. He says, but help my unbelief. Help my belief. I believe you could do it, but help my unbelief. There's a part of him said, yes, Jesus, I believe you could do it. Part of him said, I just watched somebody else fail. I kind of don't believe you can do it. You know what Jesus did? He did it for the man. Right? Not to prove him wrong. Don't be like, man, you ain't get out of here. You don't really believe me like that. But he was honest and open and humble before the Lord. But his heart posture just said, yeah, this man, plus Jesus said, if you have a faith of a mustard seed anyway. That's it. You even have to have a bunch of faith. Come on. And he still healed him. But I think about that when my relationship and my walks and through my daily life as a father, because we want to set our kids on strong foundations. And we want to give them, like you said, everything that they need in their life. And I believe I do that. And of course you want to give them some of the pleasures of life, like sometimes like nicer clothes and those things like that, and making sure they have those things. But also, am I killing the desire, the fight, the resilience in my kid by trying to give them every single thing that they want and ask me for every time that they ask me for it? Right? Yeah. Am I killing that? Am I killing their desire? That's my dad. There's nothing worse than when you talk about you have a spoiled child. Right? This feels this entitled to everything. Nothing as a parent make you want to box a kid. You don't have to be your kid. But how dare you come ask me with some nonsense like that?
Can I have that Tesla that just came out?
Remember we said what we talking about going out to eat.
Oh yeah.
Remember we said when your kids immediately look, I want the lobster bisque. Ooh, player.
Get it.
Oh, not me, player. Look.
Get it.
Your side of the menu right over there.
Hey, man.
You can choose anything from this side.
And I think that all, like we talked about before, that's all based off of standards. Because you got people, dads, it's like, you got some dads that look at like how we look at McDonald's for, you got McDonald's. You got some dads look at their kids, you got that Tesla. Look, you can have it. But it's all about the standard. Look where we're at. Granted, look where we're going to be at in the future is going to be different than now. That's why we are steadily
increasing. What about
increasing.
this couch? Are we going to have this couch in the future? You already said you got
until my kids get older. And that's real though. That's a different type of standard. Look here,
Bakari standards.
I'm not going to buy,
bounce, flip, kick, nothing on his couch.
Why buy a new couch while you still have hoodlums? I ain't gonna say hoodlums out here.
All 55 of them.
That's because here's the thing. In a couple years, God is gonna bless you with so much that you ain't even gonna. You got me playing the slideshow on my daggone computer. In a couple years, God will bless you with so much that this couch can just go down into the basement. And you know what? We got the playroom. Y'all go to the playroom over there with the old couch. You still gonna have this couch, but God, exactly. God will bless you with so much. Exactly. So when God blesses you with enough, you're like, I can get that new couch. Y'all ain't gonna be on this couch like y'all was the last one. Y'all still got the old couch. It's just in the den. This gonna be y'all's den couch.
These are the same kids that be like, I don't like that couch no more, Dad.
This is gonna be the den couch. You're gonna have a living room. You're gonna have a den.
Yeah, and that's. I mean, like I said, which I understand, but I ain't getting a new couch right now, though.
I just said that, bringing that part to be funny.
Only got one couch.
This was a topic off camera, and Bakari was talking about his couch.
Some of our off camera topics be ridiculous,
as you can see, as you already know.
Ridiculous. We can't bring half of them to the podcast. thanks to Bakari, we're gonna blame that all on.
Yeah, we can't bring half of them to Bakari kids out
It's
here.
all his
You
fault.
look, you live and you learn though.
Nah, I told you
win
he
some,
didn't want to
you
know
A
lose
lot of
some.
living, I see.
He didn't want to know
Oh,
PD.
look
They
here.
didn't want to know.
A righteous man falls 7 times,
Uh-huh.
but he gets up 8.
Hey, all right.
I'm still standing.
Yeah.
I'm still strong.
Oh my goodness.
Antoine Fisher out here. Another topic we was talking about.
Oh my goodness. There was another question I had. Give me 1 second. That last question.
Just hit to the group message.
I don't know if I put that one in
Ain't
the
nothing
group,
about
in the group
fatherhood.
chat. Did I put that one back in the group chat?
Sorry.
I'm wild in a world full of ho-hum.
That's a jam right here.
That is the jam.
All right.
The jam. You got another question?
Going to his with the question. What'd you have, Shot? That's not
Yeah.
gonna be nothing pertaining to pops and socks.
All right, smart brother with the dreads over there. You come up with a question.
I'm just saying, go ahead
Your
though.
thick
I'm just saying,
octagon
though,
glasses, man.
Hey,
Come on,
shut
bro.
up.
Nah, come
Well,
on
we
with
have
it.
this black on black
Come
violence
on with
out
it.
here.
Ain't no black on black violence.
Well,
I
we
don't
have
believe
this
in black on black
violence out
violence.
here.
He
Right,
just-
violence.
He
among
pointed out the
proximity.
glasses because
Exactly.
he know he want them though.
I don't want those, man.
People only make fun of people only make fun of a part of you that they want to be of.
First of all,
that they
that
wanna
is
be.
not true. Whoever
Man, your glasses
whoever
are stupid.
said
Like,
that,
you want them, don't you?
whoever
I ain't gonna lie,
said
I do
that
like
was
your
not.
glasses though.
That's
I don't
not
have. I don't
true.
wear glasses, but I do like the octagon ones.
I'm not making.
I almost
I'm
got
not-
Isaiah
every
pair
time I
like
make fun
that.
of somebody, don't mean I want something that they got.
So why you making fun of it then, huh?
If I make fun of somebody, if I make fun of somebody with a hoop, do you think I want that hoopty?
Possibly. You want the
Absolutely not.
You
If
want
you
the
ain't have no
freedom. You want
car.
the freedom of the hoop.
If
I don't
you
want
ain't
no
have a car?
freedom of no hoopty. My car paid off.
First of all, describe a hoopty. Some of our listeners they said, "What's a hoopty?"
Nah, cause you know what that is, an old word, man. A hoopty.
A hoopty. I haven't heard that in
All
a
right.
minute.
These cars that I see driving around in the Tennessee side with the whole hood gone.
Oh yeah.
Hoopty.
Don't say my car topless.
Yeah. If I see your engine,
Go ahead, Nas.
Yeah.
Finish the bar out here.
Nah,
Look, my
I
face was
dare
in
you.
yo. I knew it was.
I dare you to finish it.
It almost came. I almost said it though. Look, that's how hip hop and shape is out here. I almost said. I said oh my goodness.
Oh, snap, crackle, pop. But I don't know if this is too much or controversial or whatever.
Go ahead.
But still.
Shaka's corner.
No, this is not how I'm doing this. But I don't know if I got myself in that picture. But
Oh, she must be saying
living.
the wife. Look, the wives group chat. That's,
Oh,
I
yeah.
knew she was saying. I knew
She called me. I don't know if you can see it on camera, but I clearly went from here to here because LaShonda was
I
calling.
saw it.
I said,
I got like
You
3.
rejected your
if
wife?
if you see me texting on here, I'm responding back.
she
to
knows
her.
where I am.
You know what this was.
You know exactly where
Yeah,
I am.
I told Santana I was gonna be back by 1:30. I'm late. You know, as you can see,
Now, now Anthony feels.
Yeah, and we
now
gonna
you know
take
how it
another
feels, huh?
look, you know
You
what?
know how
Take
it
another
feels?
30 out here.
Look, we might as well. We'll go ahead. Look, I'm already in trouble. Like I said, might as well keep it rolling now.
It's about time,
That's like
man.
when you get in trouble at your house. Look, I was past the. Look, are you gonna be in trouble? I say, well, gonna get it worse now. I might as well have some fun while I'm here. 'Cause it's gonna be a while since I get a chance to come out.
This is exactly what went through Isaiah's head.
That's basically logic. He said Mario gonna be crucified. Might as well wild out.
snap. All right. So, what is your stances or your stance on living with your spouse or
You're
girlfriend?
not talking to the mic, brother.
What is, because my mic ain't working, man.
That's also for a
I told
second.
you, I gotta kiss the mic for y'all to be able to hear me. See, now it
You
comes
said
up.
what now?
What is your stance on living with your girlfriend or boyfriend before you get married?
Now, don't do it.
I say now.
Don't do it.
I'm
I'm
about
gonna
to say
now.
I say that. I'm about to step right into it.
Now I walk.
I was gonna say you. I feel like I was attacked out here.
Nah, don't be attacked.
I walked into it with open arms. And as a father and as a husband,
Okay.
I
Does it change if you have intent to marry them?
I guess you should.
So even if I had intent on marrying them, knowing what I know now, I still would not do it.
Go ahead, Brittany. Come in. Chime in
And
when you're
I
ready.
know me,
know
Chime in when
you.
you're ready. I see you're ready.
I know
She's peeking
even
over here. She said, what
if
you
I
say?
am who I am before I was married, I know that I was not living the right way in the beginning. So I know when she moves in, and the moment she comes out the bathroom with just a towel on, I'm prowling.
What?
I'm prowling out here.
Prowl is that do you
So,
hashtag Marlins out here?
to protect. Oh well.
Bring back the Marlins.
Episode 3.
I'm talking about one of these Marlins out there.
Look, but nah. I mean, honestly, beforehand, like I said, I I still wouldn't do it. I just can't because I know me. I would fall short, and I would sit there and be indulging in sinful activities. But that's just me. And like I said, now that I have kids, I definitely don't want my daughters moving in with some other man. I definitely don't want my son having a lady come in his house and come in their house and living, just because I know the temptation that can happen. And like I said, I know I wish I would have saved myself from marriage.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't know when you're just dating. I feel like me personally, if y'all was just dating, don't take it to heart. Don't take what I say to heart. I feel like when you're dating, there's no commitment. You're really just knowing each other. You set no commitment. There's nothing that is bounding you together. You're just saying, you're just making a
verbal contract.
Yeah, a promise. You're making a promise. Hey, man, I like you. I'll try to be faithful to you if you try to be faithful to me. But there's no bounds to it. And even in marriage, like I
rent
said,
is too expensive.
Is there no skin in game?
Rent is expensive. Rent $1,500.
Even in marriage,
rent $1,500.
Hey, look.
We have to be roommates.
Ask one of your friends.
You could. I mean,
you with my friends, man.
Yeah, that's one of your friends. But at the same time, like to move in your spouse, or I'm gonna say to move in your boyfriend or girlfriend. I think, and this is just for me living my life.
Yeah,
it ruined me.
And
the reason why I say it ruined me because, like I said, I took in sinful activities, and I never matured myself enough to prepare myself for marriage. And I had to learn to mature myself in my marriage through my marriage.
Okay. You got something to say?
No, I was gonna say I've actually done that before in the sense of, first of all, it was financially cheaper to split these bills, like we said before that.
I could have been your roommate, man.
Nah, you didn't want that. You was already living with Brittany. You had your apartment for like 3 days before
you called me out here, man. And I was.
I remember, like I said, we helped you move in your 3 totes.
Sold me out.
And
all 3
for
totes.
chicken change.
This man was a month by himself before Brittany moved in. And look, but it did work.
My man had the couch ready.
Listen.
Only reason why I wasn't moving my friends in, one,
because
I had to prove that I could do it by myself. 2, they was dogging me because I had a couch, a tote, and a TV.
The first one, we played Mario Kart on it.
No, we did.
I
invited him over with pride. I knew,
hey, man,
I was killing. I said,
I stayed at your place. I feel like for a whole entire summer. I ain't going back home, man. My brother got a spot.
I said, look, I'm out here doing my thing.
But I'm not, like I said, I don't say it to shame you or nothing like that. Because I get what you're saying. Like you said, do I want that for my kids? No. But I've been there in that situation where I have moved in with a girlfriend or whatever because it was financially cheaper. But like you said, you don't really have. Again, you run the risk of, like you said, it just, I think in a marriage as well too. You don't really have a bunch of skin. You don't have a lot of skin in the game. What's up, Club Bug? I mean, if you want to, I guess. Sorry. She's like, I like how she went all the way through. Look, that's how you better let that baby get that snack.
That's smart.
She went all the way around through the basement just to get a
say.
snack. She said she didn't have to come across. You know what, Chloe?
Smart
She
move.
lived. Isaiah and Bakari would have walked straight across the screen. Chloe living in 2045.
She the smart.
They all are
But
smart.
I understand the aspect of that. But like you said, even if with the commitment to be married, again, honestly, that depends on, because technically, I mean, the Bible doesn't really say anything about living with that person, but it talks about like if you're falling within sin or you give yourself that same temptation or whatever.
Yeah.
Because it says nothing. I mean, if you want to get super technical, Joseph and Mary were technically married before they were walking around and quote living together.
Yeah. You know, I was listening to an episode of
remember he said they were pledged to be married, but they officially like tie the knot until Jesus.
But were they living
born.
Together though?
Yeah, they were traveling. He had to get her out of all these different places. Yeah, they were living together.
Joseph and Mary. I don't think.
Read it.
We have to sit there and I'm gonna have to go back and look.
I'm just saying that because he said he never touched her.
Yeah.
And those like have relations until clearly.
Okay.
She had the baby. I'm not implying anything blasphemous.
Maybe they stayed in different caves.
They could have stayed different tents.
Different
I don't think so,
caves,
but I'm pretty sure he had a caves on.
Wow.
But anyway.
He said caves. Okay, so my stance on this, right? And I got this topic thanks to How Married Are You podcast.
How Married
I listened to them and I was like, oh, that's a good question. So me and LaShonda did move in after we got engaged, right?
Mm-hmm. Pledged to be.
Yeah. And I was like, in my head, I said, it seems crazy to me that you would move in with somebody you call a wife that you never lived with before? I feel like it's not like test driving the car before you buy the car or tasting the pig before you buy the cow or whatever. I don't know how they say that. But you know these country people be saying country stuff. I'm not that country. Something about the hog and the pig and the cow.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Test drive.
There it is.
It was one
the carriage before the horse.
Yeah, whatever.
The cart before the horse.
Whatever.
Whatever.
But I think that you need to spend some time living with somebody that you're wanting to marry, because I feel like if you marry somebody you haven't moved in with them, you're still technically moving in with a stranger.
You are. I would like to believe you know that person well enough, but I also
listen. I feel like if I'm dating,
like you said, courtship.
If
though.
I'm
so
dating, but I know, but courtship when you're okay. If I don't know a person's living habits, they can have living habits that are so atrocious that you just like, you know what, I can't deal with this. That's the point of dating. There are certain things that you want to deal with. There are certain things you don't want to deal with.
True that.
So I feel like if I'm going to marry, I want to see how you live.
But I also feel like in
see her
marriage,
look at her car.
When you marry somebody,
The
though,
woman's car is crazy.
Yeah. Wild.
I feel like when you marry somebody, you're already taking on the fact that through thick and thin,
right,
through sickness and health. So
what
yes,
you
you might not have lived with them yet, and I feel like you shouldn't have to sit there and move in with them before marriage. Like I said, it's personally my stance. Just to say, hey, I need to see how you live and do all that, because if you're gonna go through thickness, through thin and thickness, I'm gonna say through thin and thickness.
Man, talking about pork rinds out here.
Look, through sickness and health, through rich and poor, through all that, that means you're already vowing to take them, no matter what happens.
Very true.
No matter what. So
That's
when you
what
move in, you're moving in with those intentions that I don't care what it is. I don't care what it look like. Look here, we're gonna figure this thing out. I know you still have some stuff in the closet. I know I still have some stuff in the closet. Yeah. We're gonna figure this out. That's what marriage is. So
say it, though.
That's what they say, but they don't mean it.
And they don't. Marriage ain't nothing but
ain't nothing but a contract.
But that's what it is.
That's all it is.
It's a contract that can be ripped up. It ain't nothing but words on the paper to them. That's truly what it is. It's fictional.
Right. If it doesn't mean anything to you,
yeah.
Again, if marriage doesn't really mean that much to you, or if you already have a plan A, B, and C for where X, Y, Z, I would argue say don't really get married. Just like you said, continue living with your contract agreements.
I can tell you right now.
But if you really have the true context of this is my person for the rest of my life, like you said, Bakari, that stuff is not going to matter. I would like to believe it doesn't matter, because if that bothers you that bad because they don't put the cap back on the toothbrush, then clearly that's
done.
But you was looking for a reason to get out.
Done.
Right.
Not really looking for a reason, but it's like I want to get to know who I am living with before I.
You never been over the house at all?
I mean, you can go over their house, but that's visiting somebody's house is different than. That's like we can hang out all we want, right? We boys, we together. But if we go on a 2-month vacation, we gonna see different sides of each other that we've never seen, and we're gonna get on each other's nerves.
I'm not taking too much vacation with my family, let alone
exactly.
Boy, listen, that 1 week of my vacation, I was ready to swing off.
Like if you're taking vacation with your family, I mean, if you're taking vacation with your spouse, like I understand. Like I said, cool, y'all gotta stay in the same hotel room. But also, like I said, you have to be mindful and be respectful to yourself. Also, having that accountability partner, because like you said, if you're gonna sit there and do the things that, or as what you said, Shaq, don't sit there and give somebody the
husband benefits.
Yeah, husband benefits
as a boyfriend.
And don't give somebody wife benefits as a girlfriend.
Yeah.
So don't. So first of all, stop looking so hard though.
Tell him.
Nah, she agreeing with you. I fixed that for 5 years.
She was agreeing with you. I saw we're looking over at Brittany in the corner here, but she was agreeing with you.
And that goes back to it, like talking about the whole marriage thing, like truthfully, when you vow to somebody, you truly vow to them. And I would say the person I commend the most that takes marriage seriously is my wife. Like I said, there was many opportunities. My wife should have left me, kicked me to the curb. I could have been out there butt naked trying to sit there and pay child support for 3 kids.
Alimony.
That sounds like a Tyler Perry movie, my boy.
That was a Tyler Perry movie.
Tyler Perry movie.
I'll tell you right now.
Dang, she gonna treat you like that dude in the wheelchair and push you into the hot tub.
Inject those feet on.
We ain't got a tub big enough, and she can't get me up the steps.
This man.
So
Charles, listen. I said, dang, did Charles really deserve that?
She ain't never loved you like I love you, Charles.
I ain't never seen nobody hit his head. Look, this man about instantly drowned.
Listen, when she slid that plate over to him in the field, I was like,
oh, she dirty. When he said, get out. He said, you do one thing. Get out. And she stopped right behind him. Look. Wow. I said, damn. I said, yeah, that was built up.
That was,
but I mean, like I said,
black woman.
But like I said, vows though, like truly, when you take the vows seriously, like I said, there's many things that my wife, like I said, was going through that I had to sit there and endure. But enduring those, it was basically like a caterpillar transforming. If you endure it long enough, you will see the beauty on the other side.
Absolutely.
But yeah, you said I think you said something earlier that I wanted to touch on too about people said marriage is a contract. Now, if it is a contract, eventually we see through, I don't know about you, through athletics, etc. You sign a contract, say I want to be this for 4 or 5 years, but we see after 1 year, a lot of these guys are muscling and pulling that leverage to get out. So you can be you technically can do that, but if you see it as covenant of relationship, meaning covenant is not a contract, meaning I'm good until something goes bad. That's a contract. Covenant means, like you said,
to death.
To death do us part. I am vowed. We are. Basically, they used to do a blood oath. That's almost a blood oath, meaning I'm putting quote this much skin in the game to tell you how serious I am about this. That's where that God makes covenants. He makes promises. Not mean he doesn't make contracts with us. He makes covenants with us.
God makes covenants with us. But
right.
Do we truly make covenants with other people?
I think
there's always a way.
I don't think you're made. I don't think you're made. I don't think we're as people were made to make covenants with other people. But
do you truly make a covenant with your wife?
I think you make a covenant with your wife because you bound it under God.
But even when you bind it, we've seen 1,000 covenants take place that just get uncoveted. I guess I don't know what the word I'm looking for.
And I'm not saying if you've ever been through something.
But at the same time, what happens when you break a covenant with God?
Turn into a pillar of salt. I don't know.
You gotta stand still at that point.
But I'm saying,
I mean, like when you break it, because God gives you a way out. He always gives you a way out. Even in marriage, He gives you a way out. And He makes it an option. Even with making it to heaven, God gives you a way out. But that way out that you're going, you're not gonna like. Absolutely so I mean, there's always a way out. But at the same time, God gives you an option. He gave you free will to do whatever you want to do. So therefore, I feel like when you have a covenant, you become one, making it a covenant unto God. So it's not 3 people making a covenant to God. It's now just God.
You become one flesh
and one.
So it's different. Like you're operating under, like under as one.
So it's just like when you break that covenant, you are literally ripping you two apart, literally splitting. Just imagine taking a saw.
Absolutely.
Cutting it down.
It hurts.
Absolutely. But
that's what it's like and people don't realize it, but they don't see it externally, but they will feel it spiritually
and emotionally.
Yeah.
I think just like if you ever put 2 pieces of paper, like glued them together.
Yeah.
And then you ever try like pull them apart like construction paper. Like I think that is like the representation. That's a physical representation of what Bakari is trying to talk about when you step into. Yes, you can do it. But also like before you step into it, like I said, I said, I've lived with girlfriends, etc. So you already know what my stance is on it. Don't mean, like I said, I understand and I believe that that's what God wants to do. But a situation necessary. I prayed about mine. I'm like, all right, Lord, this is what.
And I don't see anything wrong with it.
Right. It's crazy.
But again, I think it's nothing necessarily wrong with it. There's not even saying it's sinful because there's nothing in the Bible that actually talks about living together. But I'm just saying it just says that you could risk getting hurt. Just like
you could risk.
Just like if you tell your kids, hey, I need you to make sure you look both ways when you cross the street, right? It's not that if they don't look both ways across the street, that they did anything wrong. Yeah. But you look both ways to miss the potential of something going wrong at the intersection from either way.
Absolutely.
Right. That's what that basically was boiled down to.
I like that. And I think that's what the Bible says about having premarital affairs is it's not I don't know if it's technically considered a sin. If you do it certain ways, there are.
I didn't see them.
That's what they said. You go to awaken love too early.
Well, like you said, I think it's just he's listing out the risk associated with like, hey, do this will lead to this. Do that, this will lead to that.
Just like we tell our kids, right? Just
100%.
There's certain things.
I'm trying to give us guidelines.
I'm just giving you guidelines
to help you out.
Because you know why? Because I want to protect your. not just your physical body.
Yes.
I want to help you emotionally. Just right. Hey, don't go in here and putting your hands and stuff on people or don't talk to people. You talk to people with kindness, joy. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Why? Is there anything wrong if you don't do it? No. But as a sign of respect, there's things that doors will open for you. I've had not because I'm qualified, just because I feel like people say you're so polite, you're so expensive. Yes or no? That's the way I speak because I was taught to. Because you can get punched in your lips as a kid.
Up.
It was for my health.
And that's one thing.
Listen, what? Oh my goodness,
that's one
that's
thing.
A trigger word for me.
Even like with our mom, like our mom never taught us to. Man, you gotta watch out for these white cops, and you gotta sit there and watch out for the police officers. Nah, my mom always taught us just respect. Have respect for people. And that went along with everything. So even when a cop pulled us over, I got respect for him. I don't got respect for him because I'm scared of my life. No. I just learned just to respect everybody that I encounter. And how you take what you do with that is up to you.
Right.
But like I said, even with my kids, I'm not going to sit there and tell my kids, hey, watch out for these cops, watch out for these white. No, you just show respect to everybody. And if they don't show you respect back, still show the respect to them. Because that's what we just do.
Again, cleanse your hands for any wrongdoing of the situations. Like, if a situation gets out of hand, it won't be because I escalated. I did X, Y, and Z.
Correct.
I talked to Isaiah like the long way down here. The friends and stuff that you choose to be around, and we pick to be with these people. Mm-hmm. They will be a reflection, whether you want to or not, on you and sometimes your character.
For sure.
Like just standing here. Matter of fact, the situation was apparently Isaiah was telling me there's a fight that broke out at his school, or whatever. Mm-hmm. Now, one of his friends got in trouble because he broke out his phone and trying to start recording the fight.
Yeah.
And we crack it up. So apparently this friend was recording, and the second apparently that the video like turned to my son, or like he was not in the fight, was not in the situation. He was just one of the people that were the bystanders walking by. But apparently the second that camera got on him, this man bolted to his classroom.
Who, Isaiah?
Yeah.
I'm out.
This man bolted out. I don't know if he got caught.
Crazy.
My
Sorry,
sister,
Mr. Jones is gone.
My sister came in because she worked at the school too. She was telling me, she said, I've never seen anything like. She's the second that camera got even halfway on, this man took off.
I'm out.
I said, why'd you take off? He said, I didn't want to be involved in that mess.
Preach.
He said, I saw what was happening. I said, what do you mean? Like, I said, you wasn't recording. He said, well, no. He says, but I just didn't want to be. I didn't want to be associated with it. I said, right. I said, right, son. Who you picking to do that? And it made, like I said, that's what I'm talking about. And a part of him was like, I get it, Dad. But the other part of me like, man, I don't want to admit that to him yet.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Hey, man, you gotta stay a thug a little bit, bro.
He said, gotta keep it trill.
Gotta keep it just a little trill.
Jolene. Chloe, what about you? We have anything else to say on there? Come here. So we bring.
She been wanting to get on the camera for a while now.
We have our first. Chloe, you feel honored yet? This is our first.
Why you smell like outside though?
Because I was outside.
I can smell it over here.
Oh.
We have our first female guest on the show. She was watching and listening. Telling people your name.
Chloe.
What's your last name?
Andrew.
All right, Chloe Andrew.
Hey,
what grade are you in?
5th.
Nice. What grade are you gonna be in next year? You failing? I don't know.
No, 6th.
6th. All right. Do you? I heard you're an avid listener of Pops and the Socks.
Yes.
All right. What else you want to tell the people? What kind of socks you got rocking with today?
Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman.
Word?
Where's she from?
Wonder Woman.
Where's
Wonder
Woman from?
Is from the Wonder Woman tribe.
DC.
No, where's she from?
She was right.
No.
She from DC, yeah. Washington
DC, but where's she? Where's she
Shoot.
from? Don't listen to the woman that ain't never seen Wonder Woman.
The Amazon.
There you go. She's an Amazonian.
That's right.
Yeah.
Good work, Chloe. Good work. Good work. So, as my eldest niece, do you feel that there is a certain pressure to live up to because all of your younger siblings and cousins look up to you?
Or just being the
Yes.
oldest sibling in the house?
Yes, because if you make a mistake, then the little ones are going to follow after you and think it's okay.
That's right. I had to deal with that same pressure trying to raise your big-headed daddy. I did.
And he failed too. I'll let you know that.
You see, you here
So
now,
it's
right, Chloe?
okay
I must have
to
done
fall
something right.
short because the parents are there to help you out. So what's one of the lessons that I'm teaching y'all this week when it comes to seeing a problem?
So we will, like, when we get home from school, we'll make sure we don't have homework. And then whenever we're done with our homework or whatever, he will tell us to go around the house. And if he sees any problem, if we see any problems.
Now, what is considered a problem? Like, give him an example of what a problem
if
is.
we see a problem, it's like if anything is in the house is dirty or something. Like, we straighten it back up.
Who's dirtying the house up?
Ivory.
Yeah. Good answer, Steve.
But nah,
good answer.
So I mean, like, so that's what I've been. That's what I've been trying to do. Like, I've been trying to teach him this time instead of trying to do like chore lists, because chore lists is cool. It does teach structure, but also, you can go to exit off now.
Look, Chloe's doing good.
I just want to say, look, I finally got her on here. I know she said she wanted to get on here.
Here comes your other daughter.
But
Chloe does a phenomenal. I want to say Chloe does a phenomenal job of being a big sister. But I say Chloe handles responsibility in the sense of, keeping the kids outside to play, making sure nobody's crying. If they are crying, she's walking them back to the door. They fail, or
sometimes with attitude. So I know the pressure of being the oldest.
You leave that baby alone, Dolly.
Sometimes being the oldest is a lot of pressure, but at the same time, it's a lot. But,
she handles it well.
As you go to exit off stage left, I'm gonna go ahead and let them know.
I like your socks, G.
More
you can get your Wonder Woman socks from the Chloe corner online.
But one of the things I've been trying to teach them this week, because like I said, you got a chore list, and like I said, y'all seen me trying to do the chore list. That's my thug baby Ivory. Don't care about nothing what anybody gotta say. She'll tell you politely no, and she'll tell you with the hateful attitude no. And you gotta accept it both ways. But this week, I really been sitting there trying to get my kids to stop being the problem.
Yeah.
And being a problem solver. So instead of like creating a chore list, except for the weekends, what I do is I tell them, I say, y'all know what the house is supposed to look like, right? Y'all know what's out of order and what's not, and what's in order. I said, so when you come home, yes, do your homework, get you something to eat, but go around the house. I'm tired of seeing my kids walk past the trash can full.
That make you go crazy.
And they just sit there and walk past it and don't sit there and take the trash out. Or, for example,
you ain't ready for teenage years.
They see like toys on the middle of the floor and they just walk past it or step over it. It's like, yo, take initiative and pick it up, because the thing is, it's not just trying to just get the house clean.
Yeah.
No, this is something for out there, because you're gonna have a lot of problems out there, and you can either create more of the problem, or you can be a problem solver. So, for instance, if you see somebody doing something that is creating a problem, either be a problem solver and walk away from it by not making it your problem, or solve the problem by sitting there helping somebody else out. But stop sitting there watching something and doing nothing. You see you see your room getting out of order, but you're not gonna clean it until somebody says clean it. You see the kitchen dirty, but you're not gonna sit there and clean the kitchen until
that's your job,
until
Daddy.
you say, I wish they would.
How about you do your job?
I'll tell you right now. Like I told my wife, because she said, the kids shouldn't be cleaning everything. I said, honey, we pay the bills. We make sure that they got food in their belly, they got clothes on their back. I said, no, the house is their job.
I'm sorry, but my mom is looking at this.
She's like, your mama's clapping on the inside.
She's like, boy, you had the same problem when you was their age.
Basically.
And you didn't get it until you left the house.
That's why I'm not too hard. I'm not too hard on them. I give them grace. Because like I said, and I told Carl, because Carl is the type of person, I got to keep reminding him over certain stuff.
It don't get no better, though.
I promise you. For 365 days, I promise you, as your father, as I said, as your dad, because I call him, I'm their dad. I'm not their father, I'm their dad. I said, your father's in heaven. I said, he got you. I'm your dad. I said, so look here. As your dad, it is my responsibility to make sure you get things that you are prepared for the outside world. I said, so I promise you, until you leave this house, I will keep repeating the same thing. And I said, if you tired of me repeating it, yo, do it.
Fix it.
Do something about it. Be the problem solver.
Sounds good.
My man, look, for the past 2 days, my man left the bathroom light on 10 times.
Duh.
Now you sound like grandpa.
Look, son, cut
Grandpa's
the light off.
like, I get it, son. I get it, grandson. I get it.
Because like I said, like, yo, son, cut the light off. Oh yeah, my fault. Son, cut the light off. My fault. I get it.
Hey, dog, listen.
It
don't get no better.
It's like, yo,
you really from an older boy.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm the same way. I have my whole chore list on the wall, like expectations. I even made it. I said, son, I understand after football practice, track practice, you're going to feel a certain type of way. You're going to be tired. And I know, understand that your chore list is literally set up. If you're taking care of and staying responsible on for it throughout the week, you'll be doing little to no chores. Or you'll be sweeping, like I have sweeping, mopping pretty much every single day. I even told him, I said, if you're really reading it correctly, I said load the dishwasher after we eat from dinner, right? And meaning, and you know what one of his chores is when he comes home from school?
What?
Wash the dishes. If you're loading the dishwasher, there literally won't be any dishes in the sink.
You got him a dishwasher?
First and foremost, no, I make him wash in the sink first. Look, I ain't gonna lie. Look, a part of me feels some type of way.
You evil.
I need. He has to learn how to do both.
Not for
What
what?
if his house don't have a dishwasher?
This is what I do.
He'll learn how to wash dishes.
This is what I do. I tell my kids to load the dishwasher, and whatever dish is left, you got to hand wash.
Nah, I tell him wash both.
Dang.
I wash both.
You gonna wash these dishes, son?
But he like I said, at this point he's starting to learn. I said, the more you handle your responsibilities here, the more flexibility and freedom you have to go to your friend's house, to go to the YMCA, which ain't going no wild now. But he was handling responsibilities at the house that I felt comfortable to be like, okay, he should be able to handle this.
Yeah.
Right. But that's the thing. Trying to keep it, like I said, there's no perfect rule book and certain things. You also want to try to make it fun. But I also told my son the same thing. I am, as your father, I'll say father in my house, or dad in the house, I said, father. I will never not stop telling you not what to do, but trying to instruct and guide you for your life. I said, I truly have the best, and I want you to be a man out here in this world. I said, because once you leave this house, I promise you, son, it is not as easy as you think. And I said, I know he's in 7th grade. But again, we talked about this before. He's going to be somebody's husband one day.
He only got 5 more years, bro.
Don't say it like that. I've been seeing all these graduations. My heart broke.
Bruh.
I'm one hand.
I'm closer to the end with him than I am the beginning. Like you said, y'all got little. Your kids ain't middle school yet. Wait till you get about 7th, 8th grade.
Don't worry, you start over.
Look, basically,
I'm not ready for that.
Right.
Not even close.
So yeah, imagine your little girl out here. Got to teach you to be a woman. And she's in middle school,
I don't know how. I don't know how.
I'll never teach my daughter how to be a woman, but I'll just teach her how to pick a man. That's all. That's all. And that's why I try to better myself. And like even like now,
come here, Tiny.
Like even like now, what's up? As y'all see, this is my baby girl right here. This is the one who shows me a whole lot of honor and respect. The other ones, they respect me, but they don't show no honor.
No honor. Dishonor.
Dishonor on you.
Listen, dishonor on you. Dishonor on
your cow. Man. That's pretty much why the toddlers, they'll show you honor and respect. But the older they get, they'll show you honor. Mm-hmm. Or show you one or the other. Feels like.
Not ready.
But I hope, like I said, I with having 4 kids, like I said, I
pandemonium going on upstairs.
I ain't gonna lie, it is. Look, my house is always pandemonium, but with having 4 kids, like I love it. It's definitely a lot for sure, but to watch each one of them, Jesus. So what you laughing at? Laugh again. Laugh again. Nah,
my goodness.
I'm gonna come over here.
We just watch Ivory. You just see it on camera. She's wiped out over there. We're like, ooh.
But those toes hurt.
Like as into
she low-key salty about it.
Like as into with talking about my kids, I always try to make sure. And now, and from reading that book, I didn't realize how much when you read a book, like it starts to change you. Depends on what you're reading. But like I was reading that book, Black Boy Joy, and like truly, man, it speaks about the joy. Like it's stories that's being told, from black families or from a black person. And like most of those stories, like I realized, like I was reading them. Y'all really wish I had that. Like I wish, I had that type of bond with my grandparents, where they, it was a kid that went to his grandparents' house and he talked about how him and his grandmother made these types of food and they shared that experience. And grandfather used to sit there and fly planes and how he was so excited to fly a plane with his grandfather. And like I said, his grandfather was basically everything to him. And it was like, man, like. When I think about those stories, like I think about the joy that person had brought that child, and like
do the same things to your kids.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Like I want to do that same thing because I know, like coming in, son, how look, you got homework, or how'd you do on your test? Like I realized my wife always told me, yo, you too hard on them. I didn't realize it until, like I said, your eyes are
As
open.
a dictator.
It was a dictatorship. It was a dictatorship in my house. But nah, I mean, like I said, when they come in, like I really want to be that joy in their life. That way, when they get older, my daughters know to find a man that brings them joy, not happiness, but brings them joy.
Joyful, joy.
And then my sons know how to sit there and bring joy to their girlfriend / wife.
Wives out here.
Yeah, wife, because you can't be a wife without being a girlfriend first.
Unless you can arrange marriages now. We working on them.
You still gotta get in the first one.
That might be the move.
That might be the move.
That might be the move.
If you pick it.
My son
My son
will pick his own wife.
I don't know. You can pick it for it, man. Who, like you said, as a father, who knows you better than you?
Because you know why? Because God got somebody out there for him.
They did arrange marriages back in the day. It worked out.
Who?
Arranged marriages actually have a higher success rate.
They really do. It's crazy. I think a lot of it is to be that it's an ultimate taboo to even think about divorce.
That's true.
Like during some of those cultures, but
yeah,
I'm not saying I would want to do it, but I'm saying they do have a lot of higher success rate.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, do we have anything else to add on here?
Nah, we've been at this for
we got a good episode, guys.
A little bit, though.
I think this is good. This is another one.
Under the pops.
We gonna wrap it up like a burrito, baby.
I'm getting cussed out right, not cussed out.
Good. You know what? Let's go another 15, 20 minutes.
We can do it though. As you can see, you know who started it.
It's gonna be the last time we meet in person for a while. Anthony ain't gonna be allowed to go back outside.
Yeah. Party over.
Party been over.
Welcome to the club, man.
Welcome to the club. Yeah, man. You've always been a home base.
Every time we kept telling our wife, hey man, we finishing up.
Hurry up.
We on the way.
We finishing up, and then after we finish this, we gonna talk for another 30.
Listen.
Why? Oh yeah. Brittany said apparently they got wives group chats out here to basically say, hey, keep them rope them in.
Keep them in line. She gonna be like, I got 5 minutes to get out of my house. All
right, Shaka, you want to wrap it up? You ball faded?
I need to shave, man.
He low key is ball faded though.
He is.
Listen, I'm rocking that cul-de-sac.
He got
right
the
now.
reverse ball faded from the top.
In another 2 weeks, I'm gonna have that Stephen A. Smith.
He done faded the top.
I'm gonna have that Stephen A. My head itching low key.
Stephen A. head itching. Shave it, dog.
My head
Him and
itching.
Nehemiah
My
got the
knees
same
hurt
haircut.
from playing pickleball. I'm hurting right now. Me and Nehemiah do look like twins right now, just a couple shades different. But hey, man, thank you all for sitting and chilling with D Pops and D Socks, where I'm still bald headed, he faded, he dreadlocks. We love you all. Peace.
Peace out.